conclusion. Any second now. There we go.
Hi, welcome. We are up to our final episode of Entelechy Archive for the Trinity Continuum Aberrant. This is, as you may have noticed, the 5th part in our trilogy. So, I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be that surprised by that. But I'm Nate, the story guide, and with me are Nick and Tash. Why don't you two introduce yourselves and maybe who your characters are too, if you can?
You go, Ash.
Yeah, so I'm playing Agent Fate. So I'm Tash. I'm playing Agent Fate, who is a phaser slash cloaker slash becomes really dense and strong and tough. So I can basically do it all. Who recently learned she could also go very fast when pushed to her limit, which is really exciting. So we're looking forward to seeing what happens at the end of this conclusion of this little game. Very excited. Go for it, Nick.
So I am Nick, and I'm playing Comet, who is someone who can fly, and that's pretty much all he can do.
He does it well.
Yeah. What can I say about Comet? He can fly. He can move pretty fast. He's definitely a bit of a hero in his own mind, at least.
Carton of beer is a solution to all of these interpersonal problems.
Possibly a little bit Australian. But yes, that is me and him.
Cool. Well, I'll give a super quick rundown of kind of what's gotten us to this point. Agent Faint and Comet are the two newest members of Team Tomorrow, and their first kind of missions, which were part of the World Crime Task Force to essentially kind of dismantle international crime organizations, hit a snag when they saw that the leader of Team Tomorrow, Cestus Pax, was acting unusual. He was kind of shrugging off injuries of civilians and then racking off and not taking any responsibility or, fronting cameras, and then even kind of basically blaming them when there was some collateral damage after another sort of operation. And they discovered that it wasn't actually Cestus Pax, but an elite named Ghost Dancer who had been impersonating him for days while another elite kidnapped him, and from what it looked like to them was interrogating him for days. And then they proceeded to go and bust in and rescue him, and maxed their powers out a ton, built up a whole lot of quantum flux, but saved the day in really cool ways, and actually let Ghost Dancer go and maybe got her phone number.
I hope so.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what happened. And I think last episode, we were really close to kind of wrapping the whole thing up, but I reckon there's just a little bit of kind of housekeeping, loose ends, and kind of epilogues that we might just quickly run through tonight, I reckon. So we might even finish early and all knock off for
a beer. A sneak preview of the next exciting game.
Yes, that is true.
That would be exciting.
We have things to announce on that for what might be happening in the next week or two. So we'll save that till later because we're mean, I guess.
Yep.
So first, let's start by, I've got some kind of mechanics that I've been working out for how the World Crime Task Force operation has been going. So I've been kind of essentially focusing on the player character's part and figuring that kind of sets the tone for how the whole operation's been going. And I've treated it as sort of talking game terms a complex action with 5 milestones. And that was the 2 missions and then the kind of the admin media stuff in between. And the final milestone will be the kind of the official announcement, the mission accomplished, if you're picking that up, and yeah, the media conference with now the real Cestus Pack. So it would have ended pretty differently if you didn't wind up actually saving Cestus Pack. Right now, I've been kind of basing the successes in each of these kind of 4 milestones based on either kind of important roles or the averages of roles that you guys have made, and also kind of based on essentially eyeballing, like, yeah, these guys ticked all their missions, so that's kind of 2 successes. They went really well in this, so it's a 3, and they managed to not cause any collateral damage, so that's 4 successes. Nice. And you've both been doing really well so far, so you've already beat the difficulty that I had for you.
We are heroes.
4, yeah, and rolled pretty damn well at the right times as well. So, but if you want to, yeah, kind of tick off this last milestone, which is, yeah, the sort of, yeah, the wrap up, based on if you can get more than the 4 successes, you could actually have some kind of bonuses depending on how well you roll, which you might be interested in rolling well this time if you want. So before we do that, let's see. Let me just scroll to where I am. Lost my place. Okay, so I think the announcement wouldn't happen for a little while because everyone needs to recover, especially Cestus Packs too. So I'll give kind of a bit of a sort of overview of what's been going on, and then we'll zoom in wherever you guys want. So the week after the rescue of Cestus Pax flies by pretty quickly. Since Utopia isn't able to verify the security of their facility anymore after sort of, yeah, the security compromise.
Gratuitous breach, yes.
Yes, pretty much. So Pax is transported to the project's Chicago headquarters instead, most likely by Slider, I reckon, for medical tests and, you know, basically like hush-hush, quiet sort of debrief. You're both brought over there too for, for debrief, for kind of medical tests, especially seeing how hard you've been pushing yourselves and your powers. There's a scientist there who is one of the foremost minds in Nova physiology, Henri Mazarin, who is actually one of the 2 people who essentially like discovered the process by which kind of Novas work, like what has changed in their brains. And he seems quite concerned. He's waving sort of machines over your heads and, you know, putting you through kind of CAT scans. And he is very concerned by what he calls the heightened levels of flux in your quantum signatures. And he...
Me too, mate.
Yeah, well, he, over the course of kind of multiple tests and multiple days and then coming back with blood tests and all the rest, he insists that you try not to push yourselves and try not to use your powers. Is that something that you would both be doing during that time? Like that means essentially not using powers or not using them at more
than half, yeah.
Yeah, more than half. So like more than half the dots or more than half the abilities.
I will certainly be following that advice.
That's it. Don't say no to the doctor's advice. The only reason that Faint would ever like breach that, I think, is if it definitely was life or death. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, but until yeah, until the doctor says it's fine to go. Just
Okay.
take it easy.
Well, in that case, can both of you give me a roll each of your quantum plus your composure?
Could I make it quantum plus dexterity?
Definitely not. Nice try
Alrighty.
though.
Yeah, well, you don't ask, you don't know.
It's true.
Sorry, I accidentally closed my Roll20 window.
Ah,
It's quantum plus dexterity?
no, no, plus composure.
Dexterity plus composure.
Yeah. Mm,
Sorry, I'm totally out of it. Okay,
I thought you did that
composure.
on purpose.
I'm just going to look at what Nick rolls. And
So your quantum is 3, I think. Yeah, 3, and your composure is also 3. So 6 dice.
oh, fantastic.
Okay, so what did Comet get? 1 success. And I just heard the noise, so I'm assuming that your roll is going to come up in a sec too, Tash?
I'm typing now.
Well, Nick, you can scrub off 1 flux from Comet.
There we go.
3 successes. You can scrub off 3 flux, so that's awesome.
Woohoo.
Bam. Nice.
That's an awesome roll, actually.
When I take it easy,
already.
I take it easy.
You just go so faint and transparent, the flux just falls away.
That's it.
Okay, so yeah, that means that you're both taking it pretty easy, I reckon. Would Agent Faint be interested in Project Utopia supplied psychological treatments too? There's absolutely that there if she's going to be, wanting to talk to someone, wanting to sort of debrief.
Would she go private or have
She's
her
definitely
own
got the money.
guy? Yeah, that's it. Like,
Mm.
Ooh, how much does she trust? What's the work culture like? Is it like, does
I mean, it's called Project Utopia.
Is there any
Yeah.
is there any taboo about seeking psychological services?
Ooh, I would reckon not. They're pretty kind of trying to be the bright, shiny, progressive, positive.
Sure, I'll go with the
workplace.
with the person that has the expertise in dealing with novas. That's probably the best approach anyway.
Totally up to her, of course. What sort of what does she kind of talk about? Like, I'm happy to role play that out too if you want to sort of zoom in there.
Yeah.
I suppose, let's say Dr. Fahad is a lady doctor, dark skin, sort of young, like quite young for a doctor, but she's really kind, really soft spoken, and that kind of person that, unsurprisingly for a psych, asks a lot of questions, and sort of lets Agent Faint talk all that she wants. So I suppose you're probably, mid conversation already. How much do you tell her, for starters, about sort of the latest things that you've kind of learned, or that have kind of come back to you about the the drug use that might have sort of triggered your eruption?
Well, I think she'd be pretty open. Like she'd openly talk about it with her doctor. After she'd pursued all of the legal documentation about what.
Yes, I read that very carefully.
Yeah. So I think it would definitely be after she's had a chance to sleep and see the doctor for like the physical stuff. And so I think the thing that Agent Fate would like to just do is just talk about it so that it doesn't feel like it's in her head anymore. Like she's had these weird dreams or these weird memories come up that she didn't have before. And so yeah, just talking through it, just to like put it out into the world, I think, is
Yeah.
what she needs, because otherwise it's sort of just in her head at these really weird times that are inconvenient because she's also trying to save the world at the same point. And
Totally. Well, Dr. Fahad doesn't bat an eyelid when Agent Faint talks about sort of, partying and taking all kinds of things and, being interested in, this kind of, like, will this make you into a nova? Will this, give you powers? Blah, blah, blah. She says, I haven't found in my experience that something like that is possible. But of course, nobody completely understands the depths of the human brain or the physiology behind eruption. So it wouldn't be intellectually honest to say that that's not possible. Would you think that that you would be less for having sort of caused it medically rather than it happening naturally? Would you think lesser of yourself for it, like you wouldn't have deserved eruption?
no, not at all. I'm just more concerned about my friend that I keep seeing in this dream. You know, I the eruption would happen. Like, I guess I guess I have to be in some way predisposed to erupt at some anyway. So that doesn't worry me at all. What worries me is the circumstances and whether my friend's okay. I can't recall at all.
Um, um, I'm sure that given the resources that the project has, that we could help you to locate this person if you think that she could be harmed or in danger.
Oh, that would put my mind at ease, I think.
Well, I'm sure we can speak to someone about that. I'm sure we can make that happen for you.
Fantastic.
Um,
Who do I need to talk to?
Out of character, I have no idea, but I'm sure that Agent Franklin, I'm sure she could probably talk
okay.
to Pax or to her contact in Nova. Nova
I will do that.
Yes. I'm sure Utopia could track down anybody that they really want to.
Fantastic.
You'd think that, but they couldn't find Pax.
Well, yeah, true. They needed the power of the media for that. So yeah, you spend some more time kind of recovering there, and you hear every now and then, Pax has been going through his own debrief as well. You're not sort of able to see too much of him right away. Kind of nobody has, and there's a lot of kind of guards around and like quiet huddled conversations in hallways and before they rush back off. But after a little while, you are both of you are released. Not like they were holding you anyway, but they're kind of getting happier with the readings that they're taking, especially from Agent Faint. Comet, not so much. So he might want to sort of cool it for longer. But it's not that much later that it becomes clear it really is time for the project to sort of go public with as much of what's happened as everyone thinks is reasonable. At least about the World Crime Task Force, which has been operating. Well, it's been sort of in the works for months, but it's been operating for a few weeks now, and the project has been saying, operational matters, we can't really talk about what's going on now, but now is kind of the time for the ticker tape parade, really, to kind of bask in the glory, make clear what you've done, do the PR, announce all the arrests, and sort of and how that's all going, and get famous, basically. So the project is ready to sort of go back to New York City for that. They're still not really using their facilities there, but they can definitely sort of make their announcements from the steps of the UN building. So let's kind of zoom in on that. Is there anything else that you guys would have done in the lead up to it? Like any sort of, anything media-wise or prep-wise, or...
I want to make sure that Christine gets in on the action for this whole media circus.
Awesome. Good call. I don't even think you really need to roll for it.
Keep it clean, Tash.
I have a feeling that's not the only action she'll be getting.
How did I miss that?
We're just friends.
So, I don't think you need to roll to make sure that she gets in there and sort of, oh, geez. Terrible. I'm just going to move on from there now.
We lost Tash.
Sorry.
So you're at the UN building. There's crowds. There's the flashing of cameras and media people lined up for ages. You're just kind of just inside the building, almost ready to go out and kind of stand out. Almost the whole kind of Tomorrow team is there, but you also notice that Pax doesn't look like he's all that up to it. So he enters the hallway, and Justin's with him, and they're both talking, and getting ready to walk out, when he stops and kind of waves Justin off and says, "Oh, I just want to do something first." And then he walks out to both of you. He's as previously established, tall, shaved head, super muscly, wearing his his blue, white, and gold outfit, but his expression looks a little haunted, maybe even. And he says, "Before we go out there, I wanted to thank you for your help. I don't know how much longer I would have been kept there without you, and if I'm being honest, I don't know how much longer I could have kept going there." And he kind of almost, stereotypically kind of looks off into the middle distance. And then he pauses. If anyone wants to say anything.
It's all right, mate. Agent Faint did it all.
No way could I have done it. Agent Fate sort of like puts a hand on his arm and you lasted as long as you needed to, and I'm sorry we couldn't have gotten there sooner, but it's over now. We're back, and we're not going to let that happen again.
Ooh, that's good. That's really well said. He says, I just, and he keeps kind of like pausing and stopping and starting. I don't know how I let that happen. I'm, some people like to say I'm the strongest man in the world. But I somehow got myself into this mess, and got myself tied up in the bottom of a construction site. And I don't even know everything that went on in that time, and I don't know what I said.
I would like to know how they got you there. That's pretty impressive on their half, I got to say.
He looks right at you and like without hiding anything, says, I was helping put out an office fire when a car pulled up, and that woman asked me to get in and come with her. And then I did.
That's got a hell of a voice on her.
I can't explain it. And God help me, I don't know what we can do if she comes back sometime.
Well, I think
We'll know
Agent
for
Faint
next
sorted her out.
Sometimes it's always hard to be the victim, and I think what this has taught us is we can all be victims, and I think that can only give us empathy for those that we try to help that aren't as strong as us. And I think maybe we all need a beer.
Hey, amen to that.
That is super great. I think I might just get you to make a roll as well, but I think enhancement,
Yeah, sure.
most definitely. I don't want to just constantly give one enhancement for beer, but I guess that just says a lot. But I
That's a
reckon
rule we can
plus,
write in, hey? Beer
yes, definitely. But I reckon maybe empathy, or perhaps persuasion, sort of whichever one of those really grabs you. And your call on what sort of what social attribute you think might be useful.
I think composure, because I've got resolve maybe, because I'm like, I'll go empathy and resolve. Empathy because I'm trying to, empathize with what it is to be a victim, and resolve. I'm trying to instill in him some, let's turn this around and keep going. Let's not
Yeah.
stop. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like that.
5.
Come on, Tash.
Come on.
And there is also a
And a beer enhancement.
complication
Oh,
of essentially Pax going off half cocked. So you've stopped him feeling powerless, but he's, maybe not going to be doing the right thing going ahead if you don't sort of buy that complication off.
ooh,
So
that's concerning.
maybe.
It's concerning. I mean, like, I was just trying to get the guy that's perfect to empathize with all of the people that are poor.
Bam.
Oh, easy,
Bam.
easy border. Easy border. So that 5 successes all up. You definitely make him understand kind of from other people's point of view that it's hard to be a victim, but you can't blame yourself for it, and you can't sort of that's when you realize that he's kind of veering the other way. You can't sort of let that turn you hard, but you need to try to keep yourself as well. And
The real victims are the friends we made along the way.
nice. Okay, that's a -1 in So I'm kind of buoyed by that. Pax yeah, thanks you, and sort of, like probably, hand on your shoulder too, kind of thanks you, like truly, and then walks out to give a speech to basically the people of the world, the media. I'm sure that that he'll all be watched by, governments and criminals and the public and everyone the world over. Pax makes a speech about working together to change the world and do the right thing. He kindly thanks all the public servants and intelligence and law enforcement, and and the fine people of the world, and of course his colleagues and friends in Team Tomorrow, people with both the power and the passion to make a real difference, for coming together to make the world a better place. As he says, yes, we've broken the power of New York's 5 families and the international cartels operating here in the United States. But I'm prouder still of the message that our success here sends, that together we can do anything. Light shining, flag unfurls behind him.
Can I just be like standing back, sort of away from the limelight as much as possible?
Well, that was going to be my question. What are you guys doing in this? This is very much like you could be standing on the stage with him if you want to be, or if you don't want to be, or if you want to be.
I'm absolutely not that much of a show pony. I was military spec ops. I'm not out there for the cameras.
True.
So as little as possible.
Okay.
Like, I get that at this point in time, it's probably not able to be impossible. There has to be,
Probably.
I was involved.
You need to develop some cloaking abilities.
Yeah, if only.
And
It's ironic, right? Like, don't millions of people get together to watch comets as they go past
Yep,
in the night sky?
it is thematic.
and what about Agent Faint?
Oh, Agent Fate is absolutely doing her best to put together all of the media prep that the team would have put her through for this moment. So, yeah, maybe not saying so much, but definitely going here, and yeah.
If you want, you can definitely have like a part in the media conference too, like
Oh
some
God,
kind of
no.
Interesting. I thought that maybe she might, because she's quite like the cameras.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You're a natural,
think-
but
Well, yeah.
I seem to shine when it's crisis, not like
Nice.
when I'm trying to stop them from seeing something they shouldn't be seeing.
Agent Faint, crisis woman.
Well,
That's it.
can I have another role from both of you, actually, as there's definitely, kind of Q&A afterwards, like media throwing questions at everyone, all the rest.
Yeah, happy to do that one.
I reckon it would probably be a social attribute, like maybe composure or manipulation or presence, sort of depending how the character kind of deals with it all. But I would say integrity is probably the most likely skill. But if you want to sort of go another way, it could be command if they're being quite forceful with their responses, and with like people kind of yelling questions at them and getting cameras up in their faces. Or
Oh dear.
humanities. Ooh, was that 0?
That was composure and integrity.
Okay, interesting. 0 successes from Agent Faint, which is not what I was expecting.
I told you, crisis. Crisis.
True.
Yep.
So,
I've got something you can't teach.
So that does give 1 momentum to the pool, which is nice because you guys are
Ooh.
actually out. So let me just pop that in.
That's it.
Can
Can I maybe earn an enhancement by answering a tough question?
Ooh, well, actually, technically, you did both fail in that you needed more than 1 success. But that just means that you both actually have a complication right now of all over the news. So you are essentially the what everyone is talking about. Yeah, the media is super interested. People want to know. You're probably kind of one of the people with packs on front covers of the newspaper the next day. But
Oh dear.
you didn't watch though, which is good. So it's kind of, I'd call it a success with complication in that you didn't acquit yourselves really badly, but people are actually quite interested. They want to know more. I wouldn't be surprised if kind of you saw cameras if you were out in public for the next little while. So I don't know whether you might count that as a success or as like a horrible botch. Maybe for Comet.
Maybe
Yeah.
for Comet being papped at the dumpling restaurant.
Oh no.
It's going to make Coffee with Christine a little bit more awkward.
True.
Ooh, you need to play that one out.
Where's my wing woman?
The interview.
Yes. I love it. Oh, that should totally be the final scene. So now I do want to give you both one more roll to see how you can can complete this, this world crime task force milestone. I won't take that role, luckily. But if you want to maybe nominate a role that you both want to make, and then we'll combine your successes.
I'm going to go with cunning plus command. So put some thought into it. I'm giving some ideas of how, if I was a crime mastermind, my minions would be going here, doing this, whatever the tactical outcomes I could foresee after having a bit of a bust with, packs and all, plans gone apeshit.
Yep.
Possibly the lead Nova there with the voice is out of action for a while, if not permanently. I don't know how much her trachea has been crushed. So yeah, okay, they're going to be in a crisis. They're going to want to take, go to ground for a while. They'll pull in resources from here, there, whatever. So that's my command and cunning.
Okay, cool. Yep, I'm down with that.
I might go. So where you're going, the tactical. I might go the strategic. So.
I botched. I've got no idea.
Really?
Or rather, I've got very firm ideas and they're all wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, that chick was all right next scene.
Wow, far out. I didn't think these dice pulls were that bad either.
They're not.
Five
They're
dice is pretty good.
Run of the mill. Yep. I might go with intellect and where are we? Intellect and culture. And kind of go from more of that perspective of okay, so they've been caught out doing something pretty terrible to one of our own. How are they likely to handle this so that they keep their image in an environment where Team Tomorrow and Project Utopia are like a step above them in terms of how shiny and bright and exciting they all are. So how does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds really good. One question. how public did or do you not want the whole PAX Starfall kidnapping replacement to be? Like, not at all public, and so this is kind of where you're going definitely, more subtle and kind of, under the notice media?
I think definitely more subtle, because it's not very fair to Pax. You know, he's been a victim of this, and it's his story to tell. It's and he's clearly not ready for that. He's like, yeah, he's not come to terms with that at all. But what we do need to do is start to call them out on their bullcrap. Like, we've got to start identifying where they're going a bit too far in terms of using novas against people that are completely helpless, let alone the least helpless man in the universe.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yep. Got to hold them to account, but not necessarily. Yeah, not by, kind of completely disempowering the victim, though.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. Roll that, I reckon, with +1 enhancement. And also, Nick, I was thinking you should definitely have some enhancement from that as well. Obviously, you didn't roll any successes, but if you want to use any momentum to get extra dice, you can.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've got 2 momentum now?
Yeah.
I will roll another 2, because, why not? Boom.
Ooh. And I kind of almost want to say +1 enhancement if Comet swears on international television.
Okay, I can do this.
But I need to know
the swear
how.
count hasn't.
Look, it was a fucking long day, but we did the job.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Sorry, it was a fucking long day, but we did the job.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, so that was 2 enhancement, so 3 successes for Comet, and 1 enhancement, so 3 successes for Agent Fate, which is actually very good, because as I said, the difficulty was 4, which you had beaten sort of in previous milestones. But when you have like a complex, like multi-step action, the kind of the highest successes that you roll in any milestone is sort of like how well you went. And so that means that you beat it, which means that you have 2 successes that you can spend as essentially stunts with let me tell you what you can choose. So that is also each as well. So you've each got 2 successes that you can buy. Either 1 success will buy you a free dot in fame or wealth, or there is the call for backup edge, which is a Project Utopia only edge that lets you essentially call in the troops. So, call in, local kind of local authorities or kind of peacekeeping troops, or at 3 dots lets you call in other Team Tomorrow people in like a really short time frame. And that is a 3 dot edge, or up to 3 dot edge, and each of those successes can buy you a dot in it. Or if you had 3 successes, which if there's any way that anyone can think of to justify maybe another roll or to justify more enhancement, 3 successes will buy you a 50% discount on buying a dot in a path, which is a pretty good deal. But obviously that costs a lot of XP to buy that as well. But that's essentially because you've impressed people enough that you're kind of moving up the ranks in Utopia or in your role, or publicly. I thought you would get 3 successes, or 3 extra, but that's a lot.
It is a lot.
So, if there's any other sort of any other actions, even in like the following kind of week or so, that you would actually want to do, which could kind of give you another role, definitely throw something out there. Like if you spend the next week, kind of doing, public tours or appearing on all the news stations or something like that, or giving interviews.
Yeah, well, since I'm already going to be catching up with Christine at some point,
Mm-hmm.
and I've got a front row seats to this whole media circus.
Yep.
Then maybe some back room seats with the media circus.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she gets an interview with Pax as well.
Ooh.
Hey Pax, she really helped out here.
That's
Do us a solid.
Ooh.
She's a good chick. Let her sit you down. Have a Mai Tai or whatever girly drink. Oh, sorry, or a beer.
You
I
don't need
love
the wing woman anymore. You've got Cestus Pax.
Yeah, geez. I'm happy to not even make you roll for that. I reckon that'll give 2 enhancements, so 2 more successes. So
Sweet.
that means you have 4 successes each that you can spend on those things if you want.
All right. Well, I'm going to definitely take a dot in call for backup.
Awesome. Cool. So that's 3 successes left.
I'll probably go. I think I'll buy that other dot in Life of Privilege.
Ooh, Life of Privilege. Interesting.
Half price for that. I should have enough XP for that.
So that would be, I think, down to 9 XP rather than 18.
Yeah.
Sweet. Interesting. Well, not the one that I thought you'd probably go for either, but
I know.
I'm always surprised.
He likes the easy knife.
Wow. How about Agent Faint? Is there anything there that grabs her?
I really like that call for backup.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
I really like how that represents the, what we've achieved.
Mm.
How I want to sink all of it into it. The 4.
Ooh.
That's
so that costs.
So can I max it out or?
Yeah, it maxes out at 3 dots.
Yeah.
So that would give you 1 more success. But yeah, damn, call for backup 3 is awesome. That's like could be getting packs in on like a number of minutes.
Might come into handy.
It's true. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Oh man, I just messed up the spreadsheet.
Oh no.
Just gonna add it there. Call it back up. Is there a tag I could buy to be like Cestus? Pax?
No,
with my last
I think
success.
it's one of those things where it probably is story dependent on who's free at the time.
Fair enough. Yep.
But I think from memory, I think that you roll it and maybe something else to see how quickly they come. So if you
awesome.
roll really well, it literally is someone's gotten in touch with Slider and she's
It'll be 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yep, 2 minutes. Exactly.
Stop punching us in the face, please. We've got another minute and a half to go.
So that's awesome. Then there's 1 more success if you want to spend it on fame or wealth. And they both probably make.
Let's go fame.
Pretty good sense.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. I don't think this Project Utopia thing's making me rich.
Not that attitude. You could have spent it on wealth.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, sign a book deal or something.
And no ghost dancer. Can we get a ghost rider?
Oh, terrible. So I reckon we definitely should be zooming in a little on Comet then and his his navigation of the media circus. Where and how do you want to organize this interview / dim sims with Christine? Like,
Well, I think
what part of the world even?
somewhere nice, somewhere flashy, somewhere fancy. What about Switzerland?
Okay.
In the Alps there.
Bear skin rug.
Yeah.
Open fire.
Fire.
It's gonna be in a chateau.
Wow.
Crackly wood fire. Yeah, the works.
No snow gear needed.
We're not going outside.
Oh wow. Interesting. So, yeah, what kind of things do you talk about? Like, what sort of interview is this? Is this, kind of puff piece, or is it like actually delving into, like what the war on crime looked like?
I think it's definitely going to be a puff piece overall. It'll be, here's the 9 to 5 of being in team tomorrow. We're all kind of great. Drop in a few names that we've seen around the place, but not going into any more detail than strictly necessary for entertainment purposes.
Okay.
There can be the lead up, like, okay, project team tomorrow, we're trying to do right by the world and kick crime to the arse. That sort of thing, but nothing in depth. Certainly nothing that would give out any sort of strategic information.
Yeah.
Point out that all I can do is fly.
So good. I feel like I could see that as like the pull quote on like a, like magazine cover.
All I can do is fly.
It's so good. Is this kind of, does it have the potential to turn into more than an interview while you're there in the, bearskin rugs and fires in the beautiful chateau?
It absolutely could, but it won't. Because I have other contacts, and this is just a friendship.
I reckon
Even if we end, slightly sweaty in front of the fire because it's a bit too hot in here, and the alcohol has loosened our lips a little bit, and we're just a little bit closer than perhaps a professional relationship between a journalist and their target would be. You could probably cut the air with a knife.
I love it. And I reckon even zooming in, that's when Christine sort of, she seems to kind of catch herself, probably like, almost will they, won't they, the fire behind your silhouette. When she says, I might actually just powder my nose for a second. And she gets up and sort of kind of rushes off. She looks like she's, trying to calm herself down.
I sit back and just have a nice swig of my cold beer.
When your phone buzzes.
Who's this?
You've been sent a photo in a DM from, well, let's just say, would you have slid into Ghost Dancer's DMs or accepted if she had slid into your DMs at any point?
Absolutely.
Well, then it's from that account, and it is a photo of Ghost Dancer herself in a spa.
Good Lord, she's flexible.
With tasteful positioning of bubbles, of course, with a margarita in her hand, and then another message appears under that saying, "Boys' night."
Well,
I guess we could probably leave him there.
that would be very amusing. I'm happy to leave it there because of the music.
Oh, I'm happy for him to reply as well. I feel like I'm kind of intrigued as to sort of how he would act when Christine comes back then, or
Oh, look, he's going to be smooth as.
wow, Comet, wow.
He's got manipulation 3.
Oh, wow.
Just friends.
Don't tempt him to let you roll for it.
No, I won't be doing that. But I guess, yeah, that leaves kind of the question there whether Comet sort of, just remains friends with Christine, or not, or whether he just, plays both sides just fine. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, maybe that might be for season 2 to find out.
I think so. I think, he's certainly not going to ditch Christine for Ghost Dancer tonight. This is the interview that Christine's got. And
true.
He might be a bit of an arsehole, but he's not a bastard.
Good. I like that. So fade to black on that one. Agent Faint. I would say Faint's kind of pace of life doesn't slow down much after all of this. She's definitely all over magazines. Probably her agent is being contacted sort of like all the time with, requests for interviews in French chateaus. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe.
Dumpling huts.
How do you reckon she's dealing with that and the fact that she is still maintaining a sort of a secret identity too?
I guess it's easy to maintain the secret identity if you just live as your public identity all the time.
True. Yeah. True.
If you've fallen off the face of the planet, in your private life, it's just I think it's best. She's probably just gonna keep working. And then it's like she's got that public and private split happening there. She goes back to HQ. She disappears off as her private self through whatever means. I'm sure they've got some sort of like dead drop style thing that allows her to do that.
Well, I feel like if she can turn invisible and disappear through walls, how easy would that be?
So easy. So easy. But I think the more psychological stuff she's dealing with about her eruption, she's probably it's simpler if she just keeps working.
Okay.
It's probably a bit of a workaholic.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I reckon. But as long as she's still kind of trying not to use her powers too much, she's managing to sort of, bleed off this excess flux as well. So she's not pushing herself to, breaking point.
She'd be working according to the recommendations of the doctor, who would be making recommendations to the people that are like, that give her tasks and jobs and assign her work. So she'd be, working according to that if she was doing like actual jobs. But it's more like working, doing PR circuits and that sort of stuff. That's still work.
Yeah, definitely. So, in amongst all of that, do you think that she is, trying to look for her friend as well, or?
Oh, absolutely. So, she would have gone to her contacts and, I don't know how much she would have disclosed.
Well, one thing I actually probably didn't make that super clear, but But Antoinette, who was the person who kind of something possibly happened to that night,
Yep.
is the sister of Nico Moss, one of your contacts, your contact from your life of privilege path.
Oh.
So kind of
That's so easy then.
End of the family in politics. It's not something that's come up, and I'm guessing you probably haven't really seen Nico all that much. It was kind of one of those cases where they sort of pushed you in the direction of Utopia, said, this will be really good for you, you'll make lots of money, blah, blah, blah. But you're not like besties with them, really.
But if I wanted to find, I could Facebook stalk her too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I think that, yeah, I'm a bit worried about what I'm going to find.
Mm.
So I would like Project Utopia to look into it for me, if that's possible.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I probably won't even make you roll for it because this is Project Utopia here. Like when they're not looking for packs, they're really good at finding people. So after a short while, you get a call and an email from Soren Vu, your kind of Utopia agent, and he says, "Hi, this is Soren. This is about that thing you were asking us for help with. We found an Antoinette Moss and then he lists a hospital facility in up in Canada. We didn't sort of say where Agent Faint was from, but I assume Toronto, something like that, major city. So yeah, there's a kind of hospital facility up there. It's more of like a medical facility, I suppose. Like it's a smaller sort of maybe private thing. Well, definitely private because they're rich. So yeah, he doesn't have too much more information there, but he's he asks would you like some time off for it? I know you've been spending quite a lot of time working lately. I'm sure we could arrange some leave, and we can keep it quiet too if you want.
Yeah, I think I'm going to need that. Are you able to put me in contact with an appropriate family member to kind of talk to? What I'm really worried about this. What's happened? Like,
We weren't really able to find that out. We couldn't just ring and ask for this person's medical records. But I can definitely put you in touch with family members or something like that if you like.
that sounds good. Yeah, I'll book some flights home.
Cool. So he sends you some details and sends you the address of the place and all the rest, like contact details for it. Nico is one of the primary contacts, and speaking to the hospital, Nico is the person that they've been dealing with the most. So been paying all the bills and all of that. And also there's I think Antoinette, probably her mum is a big politician, like big wig. So it's all being pretty quiet. But you could probably get her contact details as well if you want to.
Oh, look, I think I'll start with Nico. So I guess I get off the plane
Yeah.
at the airport. I'd probably have a home of my own to go to. So I'm just deciding where I want my taxi to go. Sitting out at the rank, and I give Nico a call. Just sitting at the airport, just deciding where I'm gonna go to.
Okay. It takes a little while, but Nico answers. You've got their direct number because I think we established Nico's in kind of politics, so kind of not a politician, but probably some kind of aide or something like that. But you've got their private number, so you get a hold of them rather than their aide. And yeah, they say, what's Agent Faint's name?
Tilly.
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 Tilly. Hi, long time no see. Where are you?
I'm in Toronto. I've just flown in, taking a bit of a break from work.
We should grab coffee sometime.
Absolutely. I actually wanted to ask about Antoinette. How's she doing lately?
There's silence on the line for quite some time. And then Nico says, um, she's all right. Um, what brought this on?
Can we catch up for coffee?
Yeah.
And yeah, somewhere nice and quiet. You pick.
Um, um, I'll check my calendar and I'll send you something now.
Fantastic.
Not long after, they send details through for a cafe nearby, and a time really soon. And then not long after that, I'd say you're probably there with them. Um, they've just just bought 2 coffees and they're just coming by. And Nico says, "So what do you want to know about Antoinette?"
I I've been having these terrible dreams, and I lose Antoinette in them, and I just realized I hadn't been in contact with her for a long time, and I just wanted to check in on her. I was really worried.
Um, they're quiet for quite some time, and they look like like their faces gone pale. Um, and Nico says, um, that night that you erupted, or we assume that it was that night, um, something happened to Antoinette. And we haven't made it public because, and then like I'm sure there's a whole paragraphs of kind of words that remain unsaid, but politics, big political family don't want things in the news. Um, Antoinette, obviously, like Tilly, was kind of into partying and stuff like that. You know, um, don't want to talk, don't want things all over the news. Um, um, and they say uh, the doctors said that it was some kind of aneurysm, they think. Um, but there was a lot more that was happening too. Um, it looks like um, like her whole body was shutting down by the time they got her into hospital. Um, they didn't even know whether she was going to make it, let alone whether she'd ever wake up. And she's well, it's been 6 months, and she still hasn't. But we're keeping her safe and comfortable, um, and quiet.
Yeah, look, I totally get this is a family thing, and you don't need her story everywhere. Um, I absolutely want what's best for her. Would it be okay if I saw her?
Um, if you want to, um, I don't know what you'll get out of it, but if you want to, then I can take you there right now.
I think I don't know what I'll get out of it either. I don't think it's really about what I can get. It's 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 what, you know, seeing my friend.
Okay. Well, Nico nods and sort of, takes a sip of their coffee and then kind of pushes it away. They didn't really want it in the first place. And then then if you want, they take you there. So
Let's do it.
you're taken to a quiet, really sort of private place, like, kind of lined by trees. No one can see in very well. It looks less like a hospital, more like a residential kind of facility. And you're taken past, past entrances and guards and all the rest, like orderlies. And you find Antoinette on a bed with, monitoring equipment. She looks peaceful, but she's definitely comatose. And she looks a lot kind of thinner and frailer than any other time you've seen her. A nurse comes in and sort of like explains a bit of the situation to you. Essentially, it was like Nico said. She almost died. No one ever says anything like drug overdose, but yeah, like, unexplained, serious, sudden onset medical complications, potential brain damage. Looks like severe, basically, kind of cell damage. Cells were breaking down. She that wasn't like anything they'd ever seen before. Like yeah, basically just, like poisoned, I suppose, but with some kind of like necrotic kind of breaking down the cells in a way that they'd never seen, combined with, severe kind of like essentially the same thing happening in the brain. So they didn't really cure it or help it as much as kind of treat it and stop her from dying. And that's where she's been ever since.
God.
Yeah, Nico's there and kind of listening in all stuff that they've heard before, obviously. And
Yeah.
then they just kind of say, I didn't know how you were involved in it, but I didn't want this to wreck your big chance. That, that you've hit a jackpot, 1 in a billion people. I don't want to know how it happened, but I didn't want this to kind of to take away from this amazing life that you've got.
I don't think it possibly could, but this could have easily been me, and I'm just so. It just makes it more meaningful to know. To know that she's still with us in some way. Like go over and hold her hand and sit with her and, talk to her about all the fun times. Said so that I don't upset Nico.
I love it.
But yeah, so I try to talk to her as if it was, she's still there and she can hear me. Yeah, Nico doesn't want to hear the story, so I don't kind of disclose, but I guess I've got a lot more to talk to my psychologist about now when I get back to work.
I reckon so. And I reckon that probably, unless you want to go further with it, but I reckon that probably ticks off your long-term aspiration to find out what happened that night.
Yeah, look, it's a load off her back to know that she didn't cause any harm to her friend, other than being so pro-drug. So maybe this will affect her PR campaigns. Be interested in working on anti-drug stuff and
true.
that sort of thing. Sort of working on that. wherever she can.
Okay, cool. Well, if we can, I think we've got maybe one more super quick scene with Comet, and then I think we're about done almost. So super, super quick. Let's give Comet some family time as well. It is, yeah, it's like a few weeks later still. So I reckon probably don't have to roll for it, but your flux is slowly going down as well. And you have been dodging media still, but it is getting closer to Christmas, so Christmas 2021. And your family have been obviously wanting to see their son, their super famous superhero son. What does Comet do for Christmas? So does Comet go back home to Australia? Does his family come to wherever he is at the time?
No, I think he'll be going home, back to Australia. Get the fam some Team Tomorrow merch.
Nice.
Maybe a really bad T-shirt with his face on
it. Oh, that's terrible. What a terrible thing. Well, let me just pull something up. Just give me 1 second. I just have to load something.
I've worked out what his U5 superhero suit looks like too.
That is something we have to work out one day, because I don't even know what their costumes look like. I feel like that's the first thing a lot of other people think of. So yeah, so you're at family Christmas. So obviously, you're in the southern hemisphere, so it's a bloody hot Christmas. Nice, Nick. I like it. Barley merch. And your parents, I don't think we've really sort of like established much about them, apart from they are obviously affluent peeps, so rich Aussie. I think we said some business. I think.
Yeah, I think they mentioned somewhere. Can't remember
Something like that.
But yes, just wealthy business owners.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So it's probably a big sort of, big do probably have, people preparing food for them. I don't know if they're bloody rich. But over the course of
there's probably at least 3 Hemsworths at invited to the
Yep, I reckon that kind of Christmas. But in over the course of the day, family comes and goes, cousins, blah blah blah, all the rest, and also one of your brothers arrives, Ian. Your younger brother. Why don't you actually tell us a little bit about Ian before we go too far in?
Well, he is someone who wishes he was as cool as his older brother. Few years younger, a few years behind in school, bit of a middle child complex going on, bit rough and tumble, always trying to outdo the big bro. But they get on. They're friendly, just very competitive.
Okay, so
probably a bit of a loudmouth, really. Certainly nowhere near as subtle as Comet is.
So he arrives with his current girlfriend. So she's she's quite kind of waggish, really, and like hasn't met the family till now, and over the course of the day, as people are drinking beers and white wine in the sunshine, he's yeah, he's kind of getting a little bit more, kind of middle brother with you. And he starts kind of needling you about Project Utopia being like a superhero now. Does the spandex chafe your ass when you're running really fast? How does that do with throwing stuff like that out?
Yeah, right. I don't even have any witty comebacks prepared.
He suddenly wishes he was back in Switzerland.
Dear. Yeah. You can't help it. I'm first. That's all.
Oh wow! Ouch. Speaking as an older brother, I can confirm that's all you need. He kind of gives like a good-natured scowl, and then takes another swig of his beer and picks up one of these really ugly t-shirts and says, I reckon this one's my size, and starts kind of messing around with that. And then
what'll be great is he's built. I mean, he's a built kind of guy, so it's probably stretched real thin.
Nice.
It's just deforming from its face over the top of his chest.
That's so good. That's so good.
The world's
Your
cheapest
smile
cotton.
is like in this goofy grin.
That's so good. And then his girlfriend is admiring his t-shirt and his physique under it, and then saying something like, yeah, when we go back to LA, I say we wear this around everywhere, the guys will love it. And she starts kind of swooning over him more, and then a conversation starts about how Ian has moved to LA now.
Hang on a minute. I thought you were still in the grunt forces.
Oh, I am done with that, he says. I didn't Mum and Dad tell you? I skipped out on that like 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I'm done with that. You saw what it was like. That is not what I want from my life anymore.
Couldn't hack it. I understand.
And I mean, not everyone can walk into saving the world like you.
All I can do is fly, mate.
And somewhat fast, I guess.
But not fast in the sheets.
Okay,
and I'll wink at his girlfriend.
He laughs, and then he kind of pushes her away from you. And then he stops and says, but seriously though, like it's a dangerous job, Utopia, trying to save the world when I'm sure it doesn't want saving. You sure you want to be fucking around with something like that?
Look, it's a job for now. If we can make the world a better place for a short duration, well, it's just another type of military, isn't it?
Yeah, but you don't get to choose what you do there. I figured being a Nova, being one of these special few, you'd want to make your own life, choose your own destiny.
Yeah, that's why I'm there. I chose to go there and make the world a better place for as long as I feel like staying there. Pays well enough anyway. Meet some nice people, ish. I mean, some of them are real assholes, don't get me wrong, but that happens everywhere. It's more of a job, and unfortunately it comes with a bit of publicity. which, not a fan of, but c'est la vie. I'll do what the job requires.
And at least you get good merch, I guess.
And the best merch. I'll tap him on the chest.
He kind of lets it go after that, and then you'll get on with the rest of your Christmas drinking.
I'm going to push him on what he's doing. Like, he's moved to LA, so what's he doing in LA?
Oh, I don't know, like this and that, security work. Like, that's the sort of thing that, ex-grunts normally get into, right?
Yeah, righto. I hope it's paying well.
He looks over at the girlfriend, who is, way too blinged out, fancy dressed for Christmas. Says, yeah, pretty well. You could say that. It's on a, job by job basis. So that depends what jobs I take. You know how it is.
Yeah, no, sure, that's fine. It's understandable. So, where'd you meet Sheila?
Like, have you been to LA? Like, you meet all sorts there. And she kind of laughs, like she's not quite getting it, whether it's false or not.
Yeah, righto.
That's not my name.
But yeah, maybe if you're ever flying through, look me up sometime. I mean, that's where I'm living right now, anyway.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. We tend to move around a lot in team tomorrow anyway. So if I'm ever in LA, definitely.
Ooh. And you notice that your mum is kind of looking over too, quite happily, saying like, "Oh, my son's getting along." And yeah, so like, unless you push him anymore, it just
No, that's fine.
Yep.
Merry Christmas! Pop the champagne.
Merry Christmas, everybody. A little while after, there's like when everyone's eating dessert and all the rest, Ian gets a phone call or a message or something, and then kind of disappears off into the house in like one of the bedrooms, and away from your eyes. So not character knowledge. Ian gets his phone out and he looks at it and sees the phone number, and then kind of grunts and groans, and then reaches into his pocket and pulls something out. It's a grey mask and goggles, and he quickly puts them on, and it is the same mask as Zulu Tango from a couple of episodes ago.
Dun dun
and,
dun.
Dun dun dun. He answers the call on video screen, and it's it's his agent of some kind, or handler or dude that's paying him money, and the guy offers him a new contract, and he asks what the contract is, asks for the deets, and the guy says it's a big one. Some guy, I don't know who yet, they're being all really quiet about it, but Russian, and got a lot of money, wants to try out something and put a scare on someone in team tomorrow. You up for it? And he kind of, what is it? Tell me more. And then some photos kind of flash up, and they are absolutely photos of Comet. So there's photos of his face, there's photos of him flying off. Kind of like news clips of him, kind of posing up with Cestus Pax on stage. And we will leave it there.
Nice.
Bum, bum,
Bum, bum,
bum.
bum. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Wow, this is so cartoon.
I know, right? I know. And I think that's kind of the end of the story for now.
There you go, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for playing. And thank you for watching. And I think it's kind of, yeah, you probably saw it was one of those episodes that hopefully sets us up for a season 2, which I think if everything goes well, if we still feel like it, I reckon I'm super happy to play a season 2 with these characters.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Sweet. But in the meantime, I think we have some other plans for the next few weeks. Do you want to talk about that, Nick, or would you like me to?
No, well, I can give a synopsis here. So,
Sure.
from next week or the week after, depending how we go, we are going to be 100 years in the future. How did I put it in the pre-game there? On an unusual ship going unusual places for unusual reasons. The giant, majestic spaceship, the Entelechy, that is mostly filled with robots, a handful of humans, and some devastating power issues.
Intrigue.
Yes.
And that is for Aeon.
That is for Trinity Continuum Eon. Yes, indeed.
Aeon.
Aeon. Potato.
But yes.
Yes.
So
and we're going to have our robot character, I believe, an AI piloting a machine of destruction.
Absolutely. The first thing that I thought, Nick, when you were saying an unusual ship going unusual places for unusual reasons, I thought Red Dwarf, and I just was like, how can I do this? But have a feeling, being an AI, being a robot, I'm gonna cool the humor. I'm looking forward to getting a bit dark with this one.
Ooh.
Yes, well, you're going to be a Ring Robotics Megacorp asset.
That's not going to end badly at all.
Not at all. And yeah, there'll be, obviously a human engineer here, right?
Yeah, played by me too. So Nick will be running and I'll be playing. Yep. I'll be playing Tomas Martin, an eccentric roboticist. So he has spent a little bit too much time out in space with too few people. But now he has a robot friend. So it'll be great.
Yeah.
And everything will end well.
It will always end well for Ring Robotics.
Oh dear. It's a bit more like Sarah Connor and the T-1000 than Luke and R2-D2,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, maybe. It
And
might be like Lister and Crichton. We don't know yet.
True. So yeah, so that will be playing either next week or the week after. I think we haven't quite decided yet, unless we have.
Once we finalise the characters, which might be by next week, might be the week after.
Cool.
So we'll see how we go.
And yeah, so if everyone
join in next time,
fans, join us then.
Or maybe 3 of you. Is that just us?
Oh no, and Vimesy. Yes.
Yay, Vimesy.
And together we make
Word
more.
Trinity. Yay, Chook Beaver. Storyteller Eben. Who are all you people? Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, totally.
If I could dab, I would.
Yeah. I can't do it. I'll be judged.
Is that something that cool kids do?
No.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, no. I can't do it. I know because I have teenagers, but also one day this might be on YouTube and then it will be captured forever, so I can't have that.
Oh, thank you, Google.
On that, farewell, everyone.